Hello. Welcome to Pathways to Spiritual Wisdom and Serenity. Today, we're going to talk about Stoicism. Stoicism is a philosophy, not a religion. In every culture we know of, whether secular or religious, cosmopolitan or tribal, the question of how to live is central. How should we handle life's challenges and vicissitudes? How should we conduct ourselves in the world and treat others? And the ultimate question, how do we best prepare to die? Stoicism was born in Hellenistic Greece very much as a practical philosophy, one that became popular during the Roman Empire and that vied over centuries for cultural dominance with the other Greek schools of thought. This ancient Greek school of philosophy was founded in Athens by Zeno of Citium around 300 BC. The school taught that virtue, the highest good, is based on knowledge. The wise live in harmony with the divine reason, which also identified with fate and providence, and that this reason governs nature and is indifferent to the changes of fortune or changes to pleasure and pain. Stoics believe that practicing virtue is enough to achieve happiness and a well-lived life. Stoics identify the path to achieving these goals with a life spent practicing certain virtues, such as courage or temperance in everyday life, and living in accordance with nature. Stoicism comprises of three parts: ethics, physics, and logic. All three parts of this philosophy work together to form an interconnected and coherent system. Today, each of these parts includes a wide array of further topics dealt with separately. The most famous Stoic philosophers are Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius. Other less known ones are Conatus, Cleomedes, and Heraclius. The original Stoicism was a comprehensive philosophy that included not just a particular view of ethics, but also metaphysics, a take on natural science, and specific approaches to logic and epistemology, that's the theory of knowledge. Stoicism ascribes to the idea that the universe is organized according to rational mathematical principles. Otherwise, we could not understand it scientifically. And it ascribes to universal cause and effect, which in turn has profound implications for the way Stoics look at both our place in the cosmos and our conduct of everyday life. With time, Christianity emerged and actually incorporated a number of concepts and practices of Stoicism. Stoicism advocates for acceptance that we cannot control the external world, events, or situations, but we can find a measure of serenity, happiness, and moral meaning by focusing on what is in our control through our own beliefs, our actions, thoughts, attitudes, and reactions. Stoic philosophy teaches people how to lead happy, tranquil lives, despite the fact that by focusing on what is in our control may be hard. It teaches how you can have a good life in bad or stressful times, even if it feels like the world is falling apart. Today, Stoicism has a large appeal because of its techniques and approaches that have a rational foundation and don't require belief in supernatural forces. For this reason, modern Stoicism is very popular with secular humanists and atheists, but it's equally popular with religious people and the spiritual, but not religious. Stoicism has also become prominent in Silicon Valley and in the world of entrepreneurship because it provides a kind of emotional stability in a business world that is characterized by turbulence and unpredictability. Stoicism may not appeal to everyone. It is a rather demanding philosophy of life where your moral character is pretty much stipulated to be the only thing worthy of truly cultivating in life through health, education, and even wealth, which are considered to be preferred indifference. Stoicism does have some crossroads with other philosophies, as well as religions. Buddhism, Christianity, and even modern secular movements such as secular humanism or ethical culture. It does have a strong appeal for non-religious people as an ecumenical philosophy with shared goals and at least some general attitudes with other major ethical traditions around the world. Stoicism is the philosophical root of a number of evidence-based psychological therapies, including Viktor Frankl's logotherapy and the increasingly diverse family of practices that go under the general rubric of cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. Modern cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, is directly based on teachings from Stoic philosophy. And CBT has proven to be, through scientific, empirical studies, one of the most effective forms of psychotherapy in the modern world. In short, modern psychology and science have shown that the ancient Stoic therapy of emotions actually works, and it works quite well. Even today, the famous Serenity prayer recited at Alcoholics Anonymous meetings is an incarnation of a Stoic principle enunciated by Epictetus. What then is to be done? To make the best of what is in our power and take the rest as it naturally happens. The discourses. The virtue ethics is a core of Stoic philosophy. It advocates a way to think about morality and a life worth living. Practicing Stoicism is not really different from, say, practicing Buddhism or even certain forms of modern Christianity. It is a mix of reflecting on theoretical precepts, reading inspirational texts, and engaging in meditation, mindfulness, and the like. Some steps in practicing Stoicism daily, and this could last about 10 minutes, include the following. 1. Stoic meditation consists of rehearsing the challenges of the day ahead, thinking about the 4 cardinal virtues of courage, equanimity, self-control, and wisdom. 2. An exercise called Hierocles Circle, which encourages practitioners to imagine themselves as part of a growing circle of concern that includes family, friends, neighbors, fellow citizens, and humanity as a whole, all the way up to nature itself. 3. The premeditatio malorum, which is a type of visualization in which one imagines some sort of catastrophe happening to oneself, such as losing one's job, and one learns to see it as a dispreferred indifferent, meaning that it would be better if it didn't happen, but that if it did, nonetheless, it would not affect one's moral value or worth. This is not really an easy process for everyone. Some people may find this exercise emotionally disturbing, especially if it involves visualizing one's own death, as it sometimes does. Nonetheless, it is very similar to the practice of CBT, which is meant to overcome one's fear of a particular object or event. 4. Pick a Stoic saying or quote, read it a few times, register, reflect, process, and absorb it as best as you can. 5. Throughout the day, practice mindfulness by reminding yourself that you do not only live in the here and now, but strive to pay attention to whatever you are doing. More importantly, focus on the fact that whatever decision you make has a moral dimension and needs to be approached with proper care and thoughtfulness. This may include how to properly and respectfully treat people you encounter around you at home, at work, travel, stores, outside, and so on. Finally, you could end your daily practice with an evening meditation, for example, reflecting on the day, writing in a diary or journal, reflecting on the events and how you handle them, good things, bad things, challenges, and areas that need improvement. An example could be Seneca's reflection on anger. What bad habit have I put right today? Which fault did I take a stand against? In what respect am I better? We see Stoic ideas repeated in M. Scott Peck's best-selling book, The Road Less Traveled, A New Psychology of Love, Traditional Values, and Spiritual Growth. Some quotes from the book state that life is difficult. This is a great truth, one of the greatest truths. It is a great truth because once we truly see this truth, we transcend it. Once we truly know that life is difficult, once we truly understand and accept it, then life is no longer difficult. Because once it is accepted, the fact that life is difficult no longer matters. It is in the whole process of meeting and solving problems that life has meaning. Problems are the cutting edge that distinguishes between success and failure. Problems call forth our courage and our wisdom. Indeed, they create our courage and our wisdom. It is only because of problems that we grow mentally and spiritually. It is through the pain of confronting and resolving problems that we learn. We must be willing to fail and to appreciate the truth that often life is not a problem to be solved, but a mystery to be lived. Human beings are poor examiners, subject to superstition, bias, prejudice, and a profound tendency to see what they want to see rather than what is really there. Life is complex. Each one of us must make his own path through life. There are no self-help manuals, no formulas, no easy answers. The right road for one is the wrong road for another. The journey of life is not paved in blacktop. It is not brightly lit, and it has no road signs. It is a rocky path through the wilderness. To proceed very far through the desert, you must be willing to meet existential suffering and work it through. In order to do this, the attitude toward pain has to change. Whenever we seek to avoid the responsibility of our own behavior, we do so by attempting to give that responsibility to some other individual or organization or entity. But this means we then give away our power to that entity.